Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Sorry it's a bit late, I was actually just talking to Flex, who's just been doing all the fan cams. They're all up on the channel, so make sure you give them a watch. I was just watching the opposition view fan cam there. Lukaku still in the pocket of the Huddersfield defence. This is the thing we face tonight when we have an embarrassing, epic loss like today against Huddersfield, which it really was. Yeah, embarrassing. I've had my say. We've had fan cams from the ground. Flex has had his say. Tonight, it is your chance. You've been begging us to do it. Call in, Skype in, have your chance. Xander's idea, so I've said get on first. The floor's yours, Xander. What was your thoughts on today?
Well, firstly, I think it's absolutely embarrassing. I think it wasn't even that Huddersfield got lucky. We were just absolutely dreadful today. They deserved to win. I think Mourinho said that the best team won. We were absolutely dreadful and they were up for it. We weren't. Although I don't think, Jose is to blame at all, really. Maybe a little bit, but Martial played well in the first half. But he brought Rashford on, so that could be a dodgy substitution. But Rashford scored, so I'm not complaining there. And he took Mata off, who I think was actually playing well, but he brought Mkhitaryan on. I thought Mkhitaryan in that second half was absolutely dreadful, as he has been for the last 2-3 games. But maybe, it's clear Mourinho trusts Mkhitaryan. Maybe he brought him on because he might be a little bit more physical, and he saw that Huddersfield were trying to kind of outfight us. I think we were all, again on Jose Mourinho, we were all very, very happy with that lineup. Well, I certainly was. I didn't think there was I couldn't really poke any holes in it. Maybe, but maybe other players like Pogba, but they're obviously injured. So I was very happy with that lineup. The players didn't turn up. It's the players' fault, in my opinion. It's not Jose's fault. He didn't get the players he wanted. He in the summer, he chose the right lineup, I think, to win this game. And the players just didn't turn up. In terms of Jose Mourinho not getting the right players he wanted in the summer, the Glazers are now really being found out for really the shit owners. Sorry to swear, but the shit owners that they really are. So Alex Ferguson really worked miracles with the low budget he got. And now that they're not back in Jose Mourinho, they're really being found out that to run a successful football club, you're going to have to put money into it. And if you don't, well, then get ready to finish up sixth. So I wouldn't blame Jose there. I don't know if you want to comment on that, Mark, because I know I do talk a lot, but...
Well, he has been backed. He's had £300 million. And I've got to play devil's advocate because I've already had my say and people know what I said in the match reaction. So I will play devil's advocate. He has had £300 million to spend. Now, I believe that more needs to be spent and it's not enough because, Pep spent £300 million, but he inherited a team that had just won the title 12 months earlier, like De Bruyne and Aguero. But... £30 million on Lindelof, who was described on a fan cam. You've got to go and watch these fan cams because they're all up now. Described on a fan cam as a pub league player. The opposition fan cam said you need to get rid of Lindelof. He's atrocious. And then Lukaku in the pocket of a Huddersfield defence, which is basically a championship defence. Yeah, he had a good start, but where's Lukaku gone? What's Lukaku's excuse today? £75 million. So, yes, I agree Mourinho needs to spend more, but over £100 million on two players today who, to be honest, were poor, very poor.
Yeah, on Lukaku, he might as well not have turned up for the last 3 games. So he's been absolutely dreadful. He did create that goal today by a good cross, but other than that, he's been absolutely awful. His hold-up play has been absolutely dreadful. People would argue that he hasn't been getting the right service and not the quality of service that he's used to here at Manchester United. But when the ball has been at his feet, he's been absolutely dreadful. He's been pocketed, like you said, by a championship defence and Dejan Lovren. It's dreadful. It really isn't that kind of top-quality striker we all hoped we were getting. And in terms of Lindelof, no, I have 0 words. I thought, I was along with you, Mark. I agreed with you at the beginning of the season. He didn't play well, but I thought he could turn it around. I thought he had potential. I trusted in Mourinho's ability to pick a player due to his transfer record that he has with us. But Lindelof, honestly, he hasn't contributed anything positive to the club at the moment. He's only put us £30 million down, in my opinion. Every time he's come on, he's been dreadful. He looks poor positionally. He can't win a header. He looks weak. He looks like he gets shoved off the ball easily. I really play him in the reserves, in my opinion, just to try and get his confidence up because his confidence is shot. I don't even think that's down to Mourinho. I just think that's down to him being so poor when he's been played. So I play him in the reserves to try and get him some confidence. But dreadful by Lindelof. Finally, on Jones, he's a could-have-been player, isn't he? He could have been a fantastic player. Sir Alex Ferguson said he was the closest thing to Duncan Edwards. Obviously, we all know Mark loves Duncan Edwards, and he's a club legend, really. But he just can't stay out of that injury room. He can't stay fit for longer than 2-3 months, and it's a real shame. But that is where we are. For me, get rid of Jones. You can never trust him. He's a waste of space, air, and wages, in my opinion. So that's what I have to say about that. People get calling in, get ranting. I've got a little bit off my chest, but I'm sure you lot have got more to get off your chest as well. So that's my bit done, and over to you guys now.
Thanks, Sander. I'll speak to you soon, pal.
Cheers, Mark. Speak to you soon.
Thank you. I must just say, it's all about opinion. I had my say straight after the game. Didn't feel any better, but having watched all the fan cams and getting all the different views, and Flex's was very good because it was totally opposite to what I said. He wouldn't have anything said badly about Mourinho. So you're going to get a lot of different opinions. If you haven't seen the fan cams, there's an eye in the top corner. We've got the playlist up there. We've got an opposition view from 2 Huddersfield fans, which were brilliant. We've got one from a United fan who said that the players, as bad as the players were, they didn't go and applaud the United fans after that today. I mean, it's all right applauding the fans when you've beaten Swansea 4-0, isn't it? But they can't be bothered to go and applaud the fans after a shambolic performance like that. I've never heard of United fans doing that, players doing that before. Disgraceful. Don't miss the fan cams. They're all up. Support them. It's new on this channel, the biggest independent United fan channel. We're now at the ground doing the fan cams, so make sure you watch them. There's an eye in the top corner, or there's a playlist. Go and watch them after this. But, this is interesting. We've not had her on for a while. Carisha, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, how you doing? All right?
Hello.
Give us your thoughts on today then, Carisha.
What can I say? I watched your review of the game, and I thought what you did had said about Mourinho, about it being his fault. I don't blame Mourinho. I blame the players. The players weren't up for it. My brother was saying, remember that game? I think what game we played was it? I think it was Bournemouth last year when they scored 1 on us, and we came back like in the 9 minutes and scored 2, like the 86 minutes and then the 87 minutes. Was it that game?
I think so. Yeah, I'm trying to think which game that was. Away was it? Anyway,
it was
carry
at
on.
home. And I turned to my brother and I said, that my brother's like, we're going to score. And my brother, even after we finished scoring, I said, we aren't going to win this game. The closest we can come to win, the closest we'll get is a draw. The players didn't look up for it. There was a difference. There was no energy there. The players didn't look up for it. And you're saying that you shouldn't have taken Martial up. Listen, I love Martial, and Martial is the most skilled player. But there's one thing that Rashford has over it. When Rashford comes on, when you watch Rashford play, he might not be the best because he frustrates me a lot too. Rashford frustrates me a lot. But what the thing with Rashford has this energy about him. Rashford has this fight that I haven't seen in Martial. Martial was playing today, and even though he had great moments, he wasn't passing the ball. And Mata, I guess it wasn't his game. It wasn't this game. And I'm not even blaming Mata for that goal. I'm blaming, I don't care what anybody says, I'm blaming Victor Lindelof aside from pre-season when I said he's not going to be good. The thing with Victor Lindelof is he can't defend. Victor Lindelof allows attack. Or defend. Eric Bailly, that first goal wouldn't have scored because the minute that player came close to the goal, Eric Bailly would have shown the corner. He wouldn't have allowed him to come into the box. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Victor Lindelof had the player leading. He was turned sideways, so the player was like, go. He did not show the player a direction to go into, and he has been doing that. He does not. The thing, he does not like to approach the attacker. Victor Lindelof will allow that attacker to box over and over and over again. He'll not make it here. I said it. He'll not make it here. Frustrating, and I was like, Jesus, why did he not put on? Blaine? Blaine and Smallness played together.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Good point.
But
thanks for calling in, Krisha. I don't know. I hope that wasn't a bad line. It was a bit of a bad line for me, but good point about that. I mean, why did Blin not come on? I mean, why was Lindelof, a player lacking in confidence, thrown into a pressure cooker game like that when Smalling and Blind have played together a lot. Why was that not done? Really good point that by Carisha. Also, I would say, why was Mkhitaryan, a player over the last few games who's bottled it physically and lacking confidence, again, why chuck him into a second half against a physical side in chucking down rain? And he bottled it as well. I mean, that, you know, Mata might not have been having his best game, but Mata knows the Premier League. I thought Mkhitaryan was invisible in the second half. Rashford scored a goal, did okay. I would have kept Martial on, but yeah, I totally agree about that. Some really, really weird ones. James Aaron has made a super chat contribution. He says, our midfielders can't pass between the lines, attack, lack of movement off the ball, and our players can't cross. Well, we've known about the crossing. The crossing is nothing new. We did score from a cross today, but yeah, it is a problem that keeps coming up and up. Let's see if we can get Anthony on. Anthony, can you hear me?
Rashford scored.
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing? All right.
Good. I'm just kind of like disappointed, if you know what I mean.
Go on then, give us your thoughts. Why have Manchester United embarrassed themselves today, and why are we now 5 points off Manchester City? And is the title gone already?
I think the title is gone because I think we just like today. I think the substitutions were bad. I just think they were like negative tactics. No one could pass the ball. Mkhitaryan was playing like he was on like a yellow card or something. Sorry about that. And yeah, I think but from 6th to 1st, I think is like really hard to do. But as long as we make small steps, I think that's good. And maybe next season we can get it.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad point. I think the reality is starting to bite with United fans now. I've said it a few times, and maybe that seed started to be planted, that what makes United fans think we can go from 6th to 1st by just signing Lukaku and Matic? Because I think we've got to accept that the Lindelof signing maybe isn't, even if it's going to work out, it's not going to work out soon. So effectively, we've bought Lukaku and Matic, but we've lost Latan, he will be back. Rojo, we've lost him for injury, he'll be back. And we sold Rooney. So, I don't know. I mean, I think expectations were set quite high. I predicted United would win the title. I only predicted it because Mourinho always wins the title in his first 2 years. But I think this could be the year that doesn't happen, because 5 points behind City. They've got another couple of easy games coming up. We've got Spurs and Chelsea away. I tell you what, I'd be quite happy if we were only 5 points behind them at the next international break.
That's going to be tough with Spurs, I think.
I've seen Spurs a lot this season. They're a better team away than they are at home.
I have a question. Do you think we would have won that game if we had Ozil in the squad?
Well, it's a good question. And it's one that obviously we did the video on Ozil yesterday. I've got to say, look, a lot of people have been giving me criticism saying, why are you moaning when that was the team you wanted to play? Of course that was the team I wanted to play, but I wanted it to play for about 80 minutes. I didn't want Mata and Martial to go off at half-time. I totally disagree with those substitutions, and I'll argue that with anybody. Yeah. Ozil instead of Lingard, Ozil instead of Mkhitaryan is an improvement. It is. But my concern around Ozil is, would we still get Griezmann? Because that's the player I would prefer. But based on today, I think anybody would be a fool not to say they wouldn't put Ozil in that team over Lingard or Mkhitaryan, because he's way better. I don't know whether you agree.
Yeah, I would agree too. Because I think if we had Ozil, I think Griezmann's obviously better than Ozil in my opinion. But I think if we had Griezmann, we would probably batter them. Because they were playing, like, once they scored those 2 goals, I think they were starting to play really defensive, and they were starting to, like, not really relax, but, like, play confidently, I think. But then once we scored that 1 goal, they started getting a little nervous. Can you see that?
I can. I think the second goal really did kill us off, but I think even if it had been 1-0, we might. I don't think we looked like we were going to score more than 1 goal today.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Smalling had that chance, but I mean, they were just out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know the Smalling chance you're on about, but you know, should you expect Chris Smalling to score a chance like that as a centre back? It wasn't easy. But thanks for calling, Anthony, and really good questions.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, man.
You too. I am going to take some more Skype calls, so do Skype in. Skype Goldbridge is the name, and don't be afraid to come on and let loose. It'll make you feel better anyway. Ahmad Zidane says, Mark, you said we would win this game easily. I think, am I in the minority? I think everybody said we would win this game easy. I'm happy to say we should have won this game easy. That's the problem tonight, Ahmed. We should have won that game. This is Huddersfield Town. 1 goal in their last 7. Lost their last 3 without scoring. And we lose 2-1. I tell you what, I don't even need to say City will go there and win 5 or 6-0. Spurs went there and won 4-0 very recently. It is an embarrassing result, and we may feel better for the more unloading we do off our chest. And like I say, click the eye, look at all the fan cams because they are brilliant and they will make you feel better. A real diverse opinion. We've got Huddersfield fans saying why it went wrong from an opposition point of view. We've got people talking about Lindelof, blaming the players, the board, all sorts. Lots of different opinions, which are great. But the reality is we should not move away from the fact that is a disgrace today. It's a disgraceful performance. And for me, I don't know whether I'd go as far as to say the title's gone, but I think it is. I don't think we are challenging for the title this year, because when I look at it, 6th to 1st is too much. Lukaku and Matic isn't enough, and the board didn't back him. And I've been saying that for a long time, and people just don't want to accept it, but it's true. Let's give Alex a go. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Mark. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm just a bit, annoyed after today's result. Absolutely terrible.
What went wrong? What do you think it was today? Players, Mourinho, bit of both. A lot of us are surprised.
Yeah, it was more Mourinho's fault than it was the players. The substitutions at half-time, ridiculous. Martial and Mato, probably 2 of the best players on the pitch at the time, being taken off at half-time. I don't get it, honestly.
Why do you think he did that? Why do you think he did it? Because some people are saying they weren't very good. I suggest they weren't watching the game because they weren't worse than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing fine, but I think it's just Mourinho doesn't like Martial, and it's obvious. And he needs to start, putting the players that he doesn't like. He needs to start thinking of their ability and how we need to win the game. 2-1 against Huddersfield is not good at all.
No, it isn't. And in relation to the title, what's your thoughts? Too early to say we're out of it, or do you think City are just going to pull further and further away?
I think it's too early. By Christmas, if we have lost at least another 2 or 3 games like this, we're out the title, definitely. And if we get beat comfortably by Spurs or Chelsea, which honestly I was quite confident going into them before this game, and now I'm just thinking, what's going to happen? So if we can stay strong against them, we have a little chance. But now I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for calling, Alex. Really good. I'm just whizzing through them tonight, but thanks for calling in.
Yep. Thank you, Mark.
Cheers, pal. Let me just have a look at some of the live comments. Let's have a go. Oh, come on. Don't mess me about. If we're playing the blame game, I blame Sir Alex Ferguson. Was him that brought that fool Moyes to our club, says Mr. Bazinger. We have lots of mediocre players, but they are more than enough to beat bloody Stoke and Huddersfield, says T. Ahmed. I think there's an element of truth in that. I've got to come back to that and say, when you look to our start to the season, when everyone was getting really excited, who have we beat? Swansea, who were a poor team. Everton, who were a poor team. West Ham, who were a horrific team. We drew with Stoke, who are crap. We've obviously lost to Huddersfield today. We beat Crystal Palace, who are bottom of the league. We beat Leicester, who are terrible. I mean, who else have we played in the league that's of any good? We haven't actually played anybody any good, have we? Liverpool, not that good. Couldn't even create a chance. Next 2 games, we're going to really find out what United are. And based on today's performance, you'd be worried. You'd be worried. David Carey's made a contribution. Jose needs backing in the next summer market and needs to be ruthless. Let's be honest, we need a top centre-back, 2 full-backs, Fabinho and Griezmann. I think we need 200 million on this squad, and I said that before today. So I'm not reacting. It's not a knee-jerk reaction. I've been saying for weeks, I said it in the summer, he's not been backed enough, he's not got enough compared to what City are doing, and I firmly believe that. Abhinav Shuri's made another contribution. He says, there were so many things wrong today. Herrera and Matic is not a good partnership. Lindelof was very bad. Lukaku is not good enough. We need more creativity. I think we had no creativity at all. Somebody said, do I think Mkhitaryan can improve? Thanks for the super chats. Mkhitaryan can improve. Mkhitaryan's a very good player, but it's the Kagawa syndrome. I don't know whether Mkhitaryan suits the Premier League and the physicality of it. Kagawa's a good player, but he just couldn't do it. And I'm starting to think Mkhitaryan the same. Somebody also said that the problems with those substitutions, even if you think Martial and Mata needed to come off, and I don't, but he said the problem with it was like for like. It was just changing one sort of player for another sort of player. There was no improvements in the way we played because we still only created one chance, which we scored. We should be creating a lot more against Huddersfield. And to be honest with you, when I look at that second half attack, Lingard, Mkhitaryan, Rashford and Lukaku, it's not good enough. It isn't good enough. We need Pogba back. We need Fellaini back as an option. I've not even had a chance to talk to you about this, but it was all over the British press this morning that Herrera's off to Barcelona in January. So, things are starting to fall apart, aren't they? It's drip, drip, drip effect. Let's get True Red Devil on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mark. Hello,
how are you doing? All right?
I'm really...
Oh, I've inadvertently clicked something there. If he calls back in, we'll get him back on. Sorry about that. Skype, Goldbridge, all one word is the Skype. It's gone a bit quiet on there at the moment. People are obviously very happy with the results and don't feel like they need to unload. So I'll take some more comments. Ryan Waters was at the game today. Gutted. We need to spend in January. Nicky Collis says, this is funny. I'm a United fan. This is our first loss and people are in meltdown. It's too early to get angry. Chill, people. Yeah, we're terrible, but chill. I think it's more than losing to Huddersfield, which is embarrassing and should not be accepted. There are other problems. We weren't good against Benfica. We were shocking against Liverpool. We were shocking again today. We just seem to have come back from the international break and had a personality transplant as a team. It's shocking. And to be honest with you, from a position of confidence, I'm sort of like now, I'd be worried about playing Arsenal. And that's saying something. I would be worried about us playing Arsenal at the moment. We are struggling big time. Lewis Watson says, lies. We should stop covering for a bad display. Mkhitaryan is not good enough for United. We need an aggressive number 10 like Dybala or Griezmann to partner with Lukaku. And Herrera isn't getting in the Barcelona side, says Ryan C, which I would agree with. I just want to say about Lindelof, by the way, I'm not writing Lindelof off at all. I think it's too early, but he certainly is struggling at the moment. I've just clicked somebody there. Who've we got?
All right, Mark.
Oh, hi. Is it Kieran?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
How you doing? All right?
After that result, how well can you be doing? But yeah, I'm doing all right, yeah.
Go on then, give us your thoughts. How are you feeling? And what's winding you up about today?
Well, obviously first loss of the season. For me, it just felt like the players didn't want it. The players weren't up for it at all. They thought it was going to be an easy ride. And on paper, it did look that way. But games aren't played on paper. And I think the previous caller, I think, was talking about the substitutions. And I know you've been talking about the substitutions as well, and I agree. I think we should have, possibly taken off Lingard instead, and stuck on Rashford, or just something different. Because what Mourinho did there was a mistake, and I'll admit that. I do love Mourinho, and I do back him, but that is a mistake.
He doesn't seem to ever want to use Rashford, Lukaku and Martial, which a lot of United fans want to see, but he just doesn't want to see to do it. And many people at half-time were saying that's what we're going to have to do. We're 2-0 down, we're going to have to go really attacking. And he didn't. He just went like for like and took Martial and Mata off.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and I was watching the game, and I think, well, you're not actually, adding a bit of pace or adding something. You're kind of just swapping in and out. And really, in that sort of situation, when you're 2-0 down, you need to change something. But I thought what really got me was the players' desire, especially in that first half. I just thought it was lackluster. And, I didn't go to the game personally, but I felt sorry for the people who went to that game. Mourinho mentioned it in his post-match press conference. People go and pay to watch that. Now, if you go and pay to watch your team play like that and not give a monkeys, to put it lightly, about how they're playing, or that's disgraceful, really. And I think the players do have to look themselves in the mirror. And I mean, obviously Lindelof, I'm sorry, but I have been saying, I would like to give him time, but I mean, I know it's unfortunate that Jones got injured, but he needs to be doing better there. I just think, it's easy to say that he's performing well in the Champions League, where the ball's played nicely on the ground and there's not too much long ball. But in the Premier League, you've got to be strong and be able to defend those long balls, because those smaller teams, that's going to be their main outlet. So I don't know what to say about Lindelof. Unfortunately, Jones can't stay injured for more than a good run of games, so that's unfortunate that he's out. So yeah, I mean, there's so many problems, and hopefully we can sort them out by next game. We got Tottenham next week, and then Chelsea after that, so that's going to be fun.
I know, I think that's the disappointing thing, because when you look at these 4 games we've got after the international break, Liverpool away, Huddersfield away, Spurs at home, Chelsea away, we've taken 1 point from the first 6, and we've got the hardest 2 to come, so it could be a bloody nightmare October for United. Abanaf Shuri says we need Ibra back for his character, thanks for the contribution. And Rishi's made a contribution, thanks for that, Rishi. You're obviously blaming the players there. A few people do blame Mourinho. Mourinho, is he losing his touch? People are baffled by the substitutions, not just today, but throughout the season. There's been odd substitutions that have been done at times that have paid off. But is Mourinho the manager he once was? Has the game moved on from his sort of get a goal, defend it sort of tactics? Should United fans be concerned about the manager, or is it just totally on the quality of players that he's got playing under him?
Well, I think, I mean, in today's case, in my opinion anyway, I thought, some of those players out there let him down. But I think, in some games this season, especially in that Liverpool game, I did not agree with his tactics at all. And I think, obviously I still support him as a manager, and I'm not too worried, but I mean, I think we do need to. I think he does need, to rethink a few of his tactics going into situations. But I mean, I think especially today's case, I think in terms of Mourinho, obviously the substitutions weren't great, but I think we should stick by him, and I think. I mean, as a Man United fan myself, I'm not too concerned. Obviously, losing to Huddersfield is really not acceptable. I mean, we haven't even played them since 1972, and they've somehow, I think it's their first win against us in 65 years. So it's an abomination, I would say. But anyway, I think Jose Mourinho, he's a good manager. We know that he's won things. He knows what he's doing. And I think I guess. There is kind of right to question him, because you can't just think that, oh yeah, he's won stuff in the past, we can't question him, he's a god figure. If he's not, if he does make a mistake, I think it's right to criticise him. But at the moment, I don't think, I'm not that worried. I think just the one main thing with him is I think he does need to change his tactics against the bigger sides, because if we play, negatively and defensively against the bigger sides like we did against Liverpool last weekend, then we'll have no chance of getting good results out of them. So I think that's one aspect he needs to change and tweak slightly. But other than that, I think I will support him, and I think he hasn't made too many mistakes up to this point, I don't think. But these last 2 games after the international break, maybe a bit of a learning curve for him, because even though he's had a lot of experience, he's still learning things, and hopefully he'll continue to learn and continue to adapt to the players that he's got, and yeah, hopefully we can improve on these results.
Thanks for calling in, Kieran.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, pal. Yeah, I mean, there's a live comment there that's quite interesting, saying we're second in the league. Why is everybody moaning? It's just 1 game. I think you've answered your own question there. Why should United fans be happy that we're second in the league? We should be winning the league. We're Manchester United, but we won't be second in the league for long. We're second in the league because of the fixture list we've had. And if you can't beat Huddersfield, I said it before the game, and I'll say it after the game. If you can't beat Huddersfield, then if you're trying to finish 5th, you should beat Huddersfield. So, you know, we've got to take the L, like I've said today, and it's not acceptable. But a lot of people have touched on it. I don't know what the attitude of the players was today, but as much as I said United will win 3-0, and a lot of people said 4-0, Sean Atwood says bring in Tony Pulis. Well, some people call Mourinho the Portuguese Tony Pulis, which I think is unfair. Regardless of the fact that I thought we would pummel Huddersfield today, that was because I took it for granted that the players would know it was going to be a battle. This is Huddersfield's biggest game in years. They're always going to be up for it because United are coming to town. If the players go there and they're not up for it, then we're not going to win the game. So that, you know, you take it for a given. Maybe we have been spoilt in the past. People used to wear the shirt with pride. Nowadays, you don't know whether they're going to turn up, and that's not acceptable. And I'm sure that disappoints Mourinho as well. Everybody knows what I think of Mourinho. Big fan of his. But, you know, I'm far from saying he's not the right man for Manchester United. I don't think I'll ever say that. I can't imagine me ever saying that. I'm a big fan of Mourinho. But I'm not afraid to criticise him when he gets things wrong. That's life, you know. Just because I respect him and I think he's the best manager we could have doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and watch him do things I disagree with and not say it. But I firmly back him. And like somebody said in the fan cams, they moaned about it, but they said we'll beat Spurs next week because that's just typical of United. I don't know whether I'm that confident. I think Spurs are a very good team, but we can be. In many ways, it's the perfect game for us next week. I'd much rather play Spurs at home than go and play West Brom away, because I'd be less confident we were going to beat West Brom at the moment, because we just seem to be quite an easy team to deal with when we've got to go on the front foot. Spurs won't let us go on the front foot. It'll be a 50-50 game, and that might play into our hands with home advantage. But we've got to win next week. It's a must-win game. It really is. We missed him today, Eric Bailly. We did miss him today. The link in the video description is how you can win a signed Eric Bailly shirt. It's open to everybody worldwide. It's not UK exclusive. There's a link in the video description that shows you how to do it. It's a new app that's opening on Monday morning that the United Stand is going to be a part of with other channels. Arsenal Fan TV are on there. United Stand's on there. It's a new free app. The link is in the video description. All you got to do is click it, put your email address on there, send it off. You'll get notified about when the app's going to go live and how you can download it. But you'll also go into the draw for winning a signed Eric Bailly shirt. Very, very easy to get yourself in that draw. We miss him. Win a shirt signed by him. Link in the video description for that. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I am going to take another call. Definitely going to take another call. Let's see what we've got. Lots of people calling in. Hello, can you hear me?
Hiya.
Hi, how you doing, right?
Yeah, not bad despite that result.
Go on then, give us your thoughts.
A few points. First of all, I think this has been coming for a while. I think we were going back to the Southampton game. We were a bit lucky to hang on there. The couple of points today. I think one thing that not many people have mentioned is, yeah, it doesn't excuse the performance, but there's a diabolical decision not to give a penalty. It was the clearest penalty, one of the clearest penalties you've ever seen. We should have had. Obviously, that may be people might not want to mention that because it's clouded the picture of how bad we played. But it's worrying. You think about last season, I think last season, if you count all the penalties we should have got that didn't get, we could have finished second or third. So I think it is a worrying trend. Do the referees and the FA have something against Mourinho? But I think the biggest problem we've got is the squad. And I think there's one person to blame, and that it isn't Jose. It's that idiot Woodward. You think about Perisic. Think back to the summer. He was haggling about Perisic. This is the man who let Fellaini's release clause expire and pays, I can't remember, it was either £7 or £10 million more for him than we needed to. Back then, money was £7 or £10 million wasn't important. This summer, when it came to Perisic, all of a sudden £5-6 million was important to him. Obviously there's rumours, but I've heard rumours that the guys had Ed Woodward used to have a season ticket at Anfield. I'm not going on conspiracy theories here, but there is something strange when it came to Fellaini, 7-8 million wasn't important. When it came to Perisic, it was.
Yeah, a good point about the penalty. I mean, I don't want to. When you play as bad as you did today, we've got no excuse to blame the referee. Having said that, if that penalty was given in the first half, I don't think we would have lost that game. I think we would have got at least a draw with well over a half still to play, and it was a penalty. I don't know why the referee didn't give it. I don't really want to go on about it because I think it's a cop-out when you've lost the game badly. But to be honest with you, I do agree. If we'd been given the penalty, I think we would have got at least a draw out of it. But we didn't, and we still had plenty more time to create more than one chance on goal. But I do agree with you about the board. I don't feel he was backed. And some people want to argue about it and say, oh, well, he had 300 million. But United need a lot more than that. You need a lot, let's take Lindelof out of the question because he's not ready and maybe he is a flop. I don't think he will be, but he's not ready. Matic and Lukaku really was not enough this summer to make us anywhere near title contenders. So we're doing well to be in second.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the other thing is I think the other thing was mentioned. I was away last week, so I didn't. It's a bit afternoon. We think talk about Anfield. I think for all the criticism Jose got for the performance at Anfield, Lukaku had that one chance. Say Lukaku had scored that, the same press that were lambasting Jose for boring football would be saying, "Wow, that's the back to the performance." That's the back to the performance warp. That's the warps to the back of the performance that wins titles. I think the media are a bit biased sometimes. The same media that were calling Jose boring for the performance at Anfield. Had we nicked that 1-0, the same press would be, pardon my French, kissing his arse, saying that's the back to the wall performance that gets you titles.
Yeah, I totally agree. Really good points, pal. Please do call in again, and thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, really good points again. Look, I was just reading some of the live comments while I was listening there as well, and people were saying, you know what, Huddersfield weren't in the game in the second half. I remember a big mistake by Lingard where they nearly made it 3, but the reality is that just makes it even worse, doesn't it? The fact that in the second half we actually did have a lot of the ball, but we had a lot of ball in the first half. People think the first half was a bad display. It wasn't. What went wrong in the first half was a misplaced pass that Mata didn't control and an awful pub goal. It was a very equal game. But United, we didn't really turn up, but it was a very equal game. But what United needed to do, and what they should have done against a team that had only scored 1 goal in 7, if we just kept it 0-0, I think we would have won that game like we did at Southampton, like the previous caller said. We weren't great against Southampton. We got the 1 goal. It was enough. And I think today it was going to be like that. I think that was the script for today. We weren't at our best. The effort levels weren't there. But if we'd kept the clean sheet, which we definitely should have done when you look at both the goals, I think we would have got a goal and we would have won it 1-0 and we would all have gone, yeah, we're not playing well at the moment, but it's the 3 points that count. Unfortunately, a bit like Stoke, we've had a couple of defensive errors and they've cost us the game. We were awful, but I still think we would have probably nicked it 1-0 if we'd kept the clean sheet we should have done. But, it's a terrible result. It's a terrible result. And we didn't turn up at Liverpool. I think we could have won that. We should have beat Stoke and we've lost to Huddersfield. And now, over the next 2 months to Christmas, we are going to play some tough games. We've got to go to Arsenal. We've got to go to Chelsea. We're entertaining Spurs and Man City. We've got some of the sort of mid to top Premier League clubs to play. I think somebody said it before. We do need Zlatan back. We do. We need a leader. We need to get the spine back. And that spine is Bailly, Pogba, and I think Zlatan will come in at number 10. I'm convinced by it. And to be honest, I don't think Lingard did well today. I think Mkhitaryan's been poor there. He clearly doesn't want to play Mata there. So who else is there? It has to be the man who wears number 10. It has to be Zlatan, doesn't it? The pressure's mounting, says Arowell. Please do drop a like on the video. It's a bonus Skype show because I know a lot of people wanted us to do it. So please do drop a like on the video because there's a lot of people called in tonight. And, they're not professionals or anything like that. They're just fans like you. They're part of this community. So if you like this channel, you like this show, and you like the community, please do drop a like. It's important because these people will come back and listen to themselves later. And, they'll want to, if there's a lot of likes on there, it makes them feel good. And, boy, do we want to make some people feel good tonight because we don't feel that good as United fans, do we? It's really disappointing. As I said, you can win a signed Eric Bailly shirt. The link is in the video description for that. We're going to be on this new app from Monday, which launches on Monday. They're giving away a signed Eric Bailly shirt for United Stand viewers. All you've got to do is click the link, send your email address, fill your email address in, send it, and you'll go into the draw. That's simple, and you could win an Eric Bailly shirt. So do that. Also, there's going to be exclusive United Stand content on there, and I think it's free to get hold of. So do get involved with that. What else? Oh yes, this is a plea from me. If you listen to me, and it's from Flex, who's doing it. We've been doing fan cams at the grounds for the last 3 games now. We will be still doing them. We'll be there for Spurs next weekend. I don't think we're doing Swansea League Cup. I can't be arsed with that Swansea game. I don't know what you think. I just want to play Spurs and get some credibility back. But yeah, the fan cams are going well. We obviously do the Skype shows for you. With fan cams, we're getting opinion from the ground, which I think is a great step forward for the channel. Please, I've never said it before, and I should have said it. Obviously, the views compared to the normal stuff are quite low for the fan cams, but they're only like 2 or 3 minutes long. They're in a playlist. Please do, after a match, just go and watch them, give us your comments on them and support them, because it's a new area that we're going into. Obviously, it takes a commitment from Flex to go around doing that, and yeah, we just want your support on them. And actually, if you click the eye in the top right hand corner if you're on desktop, or you just click United Stand and you go to the playlist and watch them through, there are some cracking fan cams, and I would urge you, if you're watching this night, please just go and watch, spend the next 10 minutes watching them. The opposition one from the Huddersfield fan is very interesting. You feel like he's taking the mickey out of us, but actually you sometimes get some really good sort of analysis from an opposition fan, and he does speak quite honestly about, I watched it and I thought, actually he's pinpointing the problems with United spot on. There's also the fan who's on about, the spine and the lack of respect from the players. There's some really good fan cams, so just go and give them a watch, and please do support it and get involved. The channel's going from strength to strength. Love doing the Skype shows. Thanks for all your opinion. We'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I've already got a couple of big discussion points tomorrow night. I think Flex and Ross are going to be on, obviously the live comments as well. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Do drop a like on this video for everybody who's been on. Don't forget to get yourself in the Eric Bailly draw and get yourself signed up for that app. And also, please, I'll say it again, please go and watch the fan cams. You can either click the eye in the top corner or just go to the homepage and watch them through on a playlist. Really, really good opinions, and they do make you feel better. I was really angry after the game, and I think I've come onto this quite, I'm still very frustrated, but the fan cams helped. They do help. They are therapeutic. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon. I'm just going to go and watch a film, I think, and try and forget about it, and then look forward to tomorrow night, because it's always a good show, the Sunday night show, and please do join us for that. Thanks everyone for watching. It's not the Saturday I was predicting. I would not have predicted this in a million years, football, eh? But speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Go and watch the fan cams. Oh. Tell you what, that Huddersfield fan, cheeky beggar. Lukaku's still in our pocket. Who do you think they are? Well worth a watch though.